Namaskar, Jai Hind. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss the first topic, that is understanding fundamentals of marketing, and under this, the Pestel factors I am going to discuss. For the business organization, there are three levels they use to operate or to understand about the business organization. There are two kinds of analysis we use to do it. One is basically the internal analysis, and basically that is strength and weaknesses for the internal environment and opportunity and threat for the external environment. So here also the external environment can consist of the industry environment and the general environment. So to understand the general environment, one of the model it is that is known as the Pestel. So by Pestel we will try to understand what kind of general environment the business organization needs to face and how it is going to affect the organization. So the PESTEL is the acronym of the political factors, ecological factors, the socio-cultural factor, the technological factors, the environmental factors, and the legal factors. So to understand that there are key questions needs to be asked. If you want to understand the general environment, there are key questions, the critical questions we should try to understand. So here, what are the key political factors influencing the industry? Which are the significant economic factors for the industry? Which social and cultural aspects are most likely to impact the industry? What technological innovations or changes are likely, and how will they impact the current structure? What current or impending legislation, both domestic or international, may affect the industry? Which environmental considerations are most important for the industry? So we will try to understand one by one. That is, first is the political factors. So if you want to understand the political factors, we need to understand the government, whether the government is stable or not, the bureaucracy, what kind of the bureaucracy it is there, whether it is supporting the industry or it is putting the pressure on the industry. That means that they are not helping and creating the problem for that. The corruption level, whether we need to face such kind of situation. If our industry comes under the import restrictions, or that is going to affect our operations. Then freedom of press, if there is any kind of problem, whether the press is also going to pressurize, or the press is the it is having freedom, and whatever the good things are there, that is going to be communicated to the different part of the world or the citizens of the country. Then the trade unions and agreements, whether it is positive sides or the negative sides. The property rights, in some of the country you may not be having the property rights, and in the country like we have the property rights. So examples could be the how it is going to affect us. One example, we can take the decision of the Indian government to demonetize the high value denominations of the Indian rupees. And if we talk about the real estate industry, they basically destroyed. Sometimes we used to say, generally people used to say that the black money was being converted in the white money due to this industry, and they faced a difficult situation. They were not getting the money. Prices are regulated in few industries, like if you talk about the pharmaceutical industries. So the government wants that the citizens of the country, they do not face the such kind of situations that they are sick and they are not getting medicine. So life saving medicines are sometimes regulated by the government of India. The industry can also be impacted by social disturbance such as epidemics or terrorism. So we know the conditions when the pandemic we were facing the corona virus, and we know that how the problem we faced. So that kind of things are also the have the problem, and you know that the governments regulated some of the part in the hospital industries and the different kind of organizations. So about the economic factors, generally we see that if politics guides the industry, then economics rules it. So economic factors can constitute of inflation, wage level, foreign exchange impact, manpower supply, monetary and fiscal policies, and the credit availability. So we can have this example about the airlines industry. We know that if the economic level is going down, and we face the situation during the pandemic. corona, we know that if your job is being affected, or you are not having the economic level, good economic level, so the customers cannot fly with on the aircraft. They are not going to use the aircraft. So other economic factors include GDP growth, interest rates, exchange rates, inflation, credit availability, capital market efficiency, monetary and fiscal policies of the government, foreign exchange fluctuations, stock market volatility, employment levels and wage rates, and so on. So these can affect the organization. So we need to understand these factors, how it is going to affect it. Another is the socio-cultural factors. We know that under the socio-cultural factors, the human ecological impact, work ethic, consumer protection, demographic changes, attitude towards saving and investing, quality of education, religion and beliefs. So these factors constitute the socio-cultural factors, and it affects the organizations. Like if I am talking about the religion and beliefs, when the McDonald came to India, they were knowing that the social structure is that there are there are customers who do not take the meat products, and they also do not like that the same food is prepared where the chickens or the non-vegetarian foods are being prepared. Quality of education also affect, and about the quality of education, if it is there, so definitely that they can be hired in the organization as well. If there is no quality of education, we know that the organization is changing very fast. They need the technological upgradation on the regular basis. So if the country is not having the quality of education, or a particular uh, a particular the region where you want to operate, attitude towards saving and investing, that also affect that. Earlier in our country, we were slowly it is changing. Earlier what was happening, that we were much worried about the saving the money, and once we are having the money, then only we are going to buy the products. So we were waiting. So now you can understand that the people are changing themselves, and they are trying to purchase on the credit, the product on the credit. That means they can purchase now and they can pay later. But if you talk about the US and the European countries, generally they want to earn and they want to enjoy. Okay, at this particular stage itself. So that is why there, if you find that the interest rate is low side. So the we can take few examples here. Like here, the one case study is also there. A study of the Boston Consulting Group on the impact of changing age structures on the airline industry. It was that the millennium generations will drive the growth of the travel industry in the next 5 to 10 years as they enter their most productive years. Compare that with the travel habits of the baby boomers, these born in the 40s to 60s, or Generation X, those who born in the mid 60s and late 70s, early 80s. The contribution of both of these segments to airline industry traffic will gradually decline. The differences don't end here, even the culinary and the technology preferences differ. For example, millennials are more likely to prefer organic or exotic food, are tech savvy, and prefer touch screen technologies. They are avid users of social media and more likely to use such media to evaluate services as well as broadcast the experiences as compared to baby boomers. The airline industry must factor these considerations when planning for expansions of the new product offering. So such kind of case study is being done on the regular basis to understand the socio-cultural factors, and that affects a lot. That affects a lot. Then the technological factors. We know that the technology is changing very fast, and we are hearing about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all, and that is slowly affecting. Like you must be aware of that, even the technology or the artificial intelligence or machine learning is being used for the recruitment process. Basically what they used to do it, that they are identifying the attributes of the performers, and based on that identification of the attributes, they are going to check on the candidates applying for the job. So such kind of technologies are available nowadays, And even you must be aware of that the technology or the artificial intelligence is being used in the legal sector as well. So and that is going to affect it. That is going to affect it. So the organization should know these things. Like even you can see this video. Just I will show you video that how it is affecting the how it is affecting the communication. So you are not knowing the language. You can just watch this video. If you don't know the language of a particular area, so now with the artificial intelligence, so just see. So you can see nowadays technology is available. So the communication is not the barrier nowadays. Okay. So we can read out these examples as well. Okay. So another factor is here the legal factors. We know that the legal factor is also affecting the organization. So antitrust law, that the Competition Act 2002, the laws related to the discrimination, labor laws, copyright patents, intellectual property laws, the data protection and the privacy, consumer protection and voice. These also we should understand that we should know it about this, and this can affect the organization. So you can just go through this one. Another is the environmental factors. Environmental factors constitute the climatic change, the pollution regulations, the renewable energy incentives, waste management, and disaster management. And you can watch this video of the Prime Minister how he is addressing the environmental factors. So this link is it is being given. You can go through that one. And we know that as the global concerns about the declining state of the world environment increases, restrictions on airlines also increases. For example, the climate news recently reported that the wind pattern altered by climate variability are resulting in longer flight times, extra fuel consumptions, and increase in CO2 emissions. In fact, it is estimated that the global aviation industry contributes to 2% of all human-induced carbon dioxide emissions. So you know that nowadays the government and the citizen of the country, and there are so many the NGOs, they are working on that so that the environment is protected, and such kind of actually it is a good for for the country, good for the world, good for the human being. So you can go through this one and you can understand how these are affecting the organization. Thank you so much.